What's up, everyone? I'm Tamara and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about, should you date a BPD, someone with borderline personality disorder? Should you date somebody with BPD? It depends on who you're asking. If you ask someone with BPD, the answer will be yes, because they want love and feel like they deserve it just like everyone else. If you ask someone who has experienced borderline abuse, the answer would be no. My answer is, it depends on how many and how intense the BPD symptoms are. A high-functioning BPD can have a pretty healthy relationship. For some, healthier than a person without it. It really depends on the person. If the BPD has extreme symptoms, they're raging and tantruming on a daily basis, they're way too clingy and shaky and nervous and freak out constantly, I'd say it's best to protect yourself rather than get in a situation that you can't handle. It is a matter of what you can truly psychologically deal with. If you find yourself in a relationship with anyone and you are extremely unhappy or confused all the time, it's probably not the relationship for you. Everyone deserves to protect themselves and feel safe. Are there people who have successful marriages with someone with BPD? Absolutely. BPD can be experienced at a wide range. There are BPDs who have the natural instincts to be a good husband, wife, mother, or father, and their skills are pretty high up there. Although there will be a couple of deficits or areas of difficulty that could do a lot of harm in a relationship to a spouse or to the children of BPDs, the good will far outweigh the bad. There might be a couple of areas of difficulty that can be pinpointed or identified by the non-BPD spouse. As long as they have a high tolerance for those areas, then the relationship should be okay. Imagine a relationship with a quiet borderline. Quiet borderlines, for example, will enjoy and need some alone time. They may fear abandonment and become temperamental when a spouse wants to experience hobbies outside the house, but as long as the spouse sets boundaries and does the things that he or she enjoys, in spite of temper tantrums, it could work out fine. As long as a hobby is not something that compromises the relationship, then the temper tantrums may fade out over time and become a non-issue. Continuing their hobbies may not be a point of argument for the non-borderline. They're going to do it. Said person isn't thin-skinned nor easily triggered by the BPD's tactics. They're going to do to their organization once a month to help the needy, or taking their weekly classes to learn a new skill. They do not make it a point of negotiation, and BPD has to be able to accept certain things. My spouse has a couple of activities without me, and I have a couple of activities that I do without him or her. Traditional roles can help in the sense that the BPD knows what to do, like cooking, cleaning, ironing, or mowing the lawn, taking out the trash. Traditional meaning there's some predictability in how the household will run. I know what I do, and you know what you do, and things run smoothly. Quiet borderlines can be very active and learn to use activities, crafts, social groups, and find positive ways of getting their energy and unmet needs channeled into productivity and things they can enjoy and be proud of outside the internal workings of the self. The thing that can work for BPD is that in a romantic relationship, we are all attaching to someone. It is a very intimate relationship in which we can all feel extreme elation or heartache. We all freak out when we are in a serious committed relationship and the person comes home later than usual, or we get into an argument and break up. We all feel the pain and trauma of being separated from a love interest. In that way, we have similarities in what BPD may experience. So, therefore, some of their reactions may not seem so different when it comes to an intense love relationship. We leave our parents and cleave to a new love to start our own family. we attract the hurts and pains of our past so that we can, as an adult with more power to make decisions, attempt to heal from childhood wounds and our deep connection with another. If you are dating someone with BPD, I'd feel more comfortable if the person is seeking therapy in which they are doing the hard and painful work to heal. It takes years of therapy to develop better coping skills. Difficulty comes into play with a BPD because let's not sugarcoat this entire video, although it's much easier to. Some BPDs can be extremely abusive in their romantic relationships. They can be verbally, emotionally, psychologically, and even physically abusive in their relationships. If you're dating someone like this, run for the exit. It isn't okay to be mistreated. You're not built to accept this type of behavior. It can be difficult for the BPDs to see or accept the damage they are doing to the other because they lacked object permanence and they struggle with having a self. So if you do not have a self, how can you take ownership of your actions? It makes it difficult to understand or recognize anger or sadness within the self. They have problems regulating emotions, so they can become angry and enraged very easily, which is why BPD is sometimes misdiagnosed as bipolar when it really isn't. They can be yelling and screaming at their loved one, but when confronted, they have no idea what you're talking about, so the abuse continues. They have to be willing to listen and hear when someone says they're being hurtful and work to try to change that pattern. BPDs have what's called approach avoidance conflict, which is a get away, come closer way of interacting. It's an I hate you, don't leave me, polar opposite requests. It is an intense struggle that sends mixed messages. It's hard for a loved one to navigate this sort of thinking. There is a threat to intimacy for the BPD who experiences withdrawal of intense close relationships as a threat to their own safety or entire existence psychologically, which is understandable. But when there's distancing, the BPD fears abandonment. Coming too close can feel like engulfment, and the original core wound of helplessness, need to survive, lack of control can be devastating. Abandonment triggers rage. Some might recommend being honest with BPD about unhealthy behaviors, but that could cause a BPD to cut you off completely. So it's a very tricky terrain to navigate through. So I would say use caution when connecting with someone who has a personality disorder. You would need to do your research and really understand what it is that you're getting into. But on the other hand, it could be a positive experience for some people. So if you are interested in personality disorders like narcissism, you definitely want to check out my book, The Workplace NaRCISSiST by Tamara and Zyon. It's on Amazon. I'll put it in the comments. It is going to help you understand and navigate that tricky terrain of a narcissist and make your life easier to cope with. So check it out. Check out my other videos. Make sure you subscribe. Spread the word for other people who need help with these areas. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Take good care. Bye-bye.